Hi, I'm your co-host Nicole Zell.
And I'm Alexandra March.
And you're listening to
Follow Your Art.
Thank you guys for tuning into our second episode of Follow Your Art.
It's an exciting one. We have our
yes.
first ever guest. It's not just us bantering.
Yes, thank God.
Some fresh energy and amazing energy with us.
Shanina Dionna, she's a Philadelphia-based visual artist, founder of Embryo Expos and Art Buds. And she's also a mental health advocate, so we did an interview with her, and we're really excited for you guys to hear it. In the meantime, how's life being an artist, Alex? How's music and the new year? It's 2020 now.
It's 2020.
I know, that's big.
Bye, 2019.
Bye.
Everything's been good. Anything different to report? Not so much. I've recently become obsessed with the pattern app. I may be a little bit late, but that has blown my mind in the sense of it's talking about my past lives and why my soul's here. And I don't know, it's given me a new perspective on myself and where I need to grow, what I need to be doing.
It's a crazy app. She told me about it like last night, and then my whole life was taken over
Nicole
by it, so
is a phoenix, everyone. She is a phoenix.
Everyone, they're like, what are you guys talking about?
I didn't know what that meant, but you should look up what a phoenix is also. And your mind will blow.
Yes, it's an astrology-based app. It's very interesting. It's called The Pattern. It has been taking over our lives, so we've been more invested in that than anything.
Yes,
art-wise.
And I don't want to be one of those people that's like, everything is relied on astrology. But I will tell you, it's just fun.
No, it was scary accurate.
It's fun to ask yourself, why am I here? What is my strongest desire in life? What do I want to learn? So
to create. That's the moral of the story in
listen
this podcast.
To creatives.
Yes, and to listen to creatives. And speaking of that, yes, without further ado, we're gonna let you guys listen to this interview that we did with Shanina Dionna.
All right, we're here with Shanina Dionna, an old friend of mine from high school. But other than that, she's a force to be reckoned with in the art community, and I have 120 questions to ask you really quick.
Specifically, 120. Thank you for being with us today.
Yes, we're honored.
Took trains and buses and planes and cars, and we're here.
Yes. Whatever I need to do to get there and make it happen, I'll do it.
Shanina makes these really cute videos of her travels from the suburbs to the city and the train ride. And today it was just too cold. We were like, we gotta get you.
Yes, Nicole, thank you. Thanks for picking me up.
No, we're happy you're here. And as we said before, you're our first guest.
Yes.
Lucky to have you.
Lucky to have you.
Congratulations to you guys. Follow your art. It's going to be explosive.
Follow your art.
It's going to be explosive.
2020,
yes.
But we were discussing it, and we've there's so many people on this list, and we were like, Shanina is obviously the first one we have to have on. So.
Oh, it was beautiful.
You're a huge
so
inspiration.
Yeah, seriously.
I guess before we start diving into these 130 questions, if you could just introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, world. So my name is Shanina Dionna. I am a visual artist, a performing artist. Why am I saying artist like this?
Artist. That's good pronunciation.
No, I'm a visual performing artist, youth arts teacher at a nonprofit in West Philly, actually at the Urban Art Gallery called Art Buds Philly on Instagram if anybody wants to follow that. And mental health and wellness advocate via the visual and performing arts. I've been doing that now for going on 9 years this coming March 2020. It's pretty much the gist. I'm also a new person-centered expressive arts therapy student, so I'm pursuing certification. We'll be graduating with that in 2021, so I'll be able to facilitate finally my own expressive arts therapy workshops soon. So
wow,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What is that program all about? What are the classes like?
So it takes place at the Person-Centered Expressive Arts Institute in Sonoma, California. It's a week stay quarterly throughout the year. in Sonoma, California. So it's wine country. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We stay at the Westerbick Ranch. It's all about exploring Carl Rogers and Natalie Rogers' philosophies of art therapy and what that looks like as far as the person. That's why it's considered person centered. It's a little more I don't want to say radical, maybe radical. If we're talking in regards to traditional art therapy practices, say in the medical field, this practice focus on the person, their experiences, and applying that, to the art aspects. So
That sounds fascinating.
yeah.
When, kind of backtracking a little bit in your background, when did you first start doing art or decide that you wanted to make that your career, your life's passion, your life's work?
So I've always been a creative. Since childhood, I knew that very early on. If I did not exceed in any other subject in school, whether, in grade school, high school, college, I knew I was going to excel in the visual and performing arts. So I always found myself on dance squads, drill teams, like marching, stepping teams, in AP art classes. I knew early on that I was supposed to be an artist, that I was just inclined to creativity. I remember being 9 years old in Jacksonville, Florida, at the Arlington Elementary School. My teacher, Mrs. Powers, I was in third grade.
Great name.
And yeah, right? Yeah, Mrs. Powers, I was in third grade, and I had to, the assignment was to create a short story and accompany it with an illustration. I did it, and I really enjoyed the project, and she ended up using my project as an example for the whole entire third grade class, not just my classroom, but the whole wing of the third grade classes, and was like asking me to take my project and show it to all the classes in third grade. And I was like, being 9 years old, looking up like, why does she want me to do this? But it also felt nice. It felt nice to be acknowledged for my creative works, so that is something for me when I was 9 years old.
Mrs. Powers called it.
She's
Yeah.
like, you're going to be an artist. I have a question about this because I heard you tell this story on Meraki Mentors. Shout out to them.
Yes.
And so I heard this story and I wanted to know, do you remember what your short story was?
I do not.
You don't remember?
I have no idea.
You know, I bet you Mrs.
remember.
Powers
wasn't
still
it-
has it.
I think I remember there was a boy, and and it all happened on like a piece of notebook paper. Like that was it. It was just a piece of notebook paper. It might have been like the composition book paper. And I wrote the story. It was literally on one page. And I remember I drew a boy. I can't remember if it was a black boy, white boy, Spanish boy. It was a boy. It was a story.
And
It got received
it was
really
good.
well.
You got some recognition. Okay.
But professionally, so that kind of just followed me throughout, to my adulthood. Professionally, though, I remember being in Chicago studying visual communications at their Institute of Art. I did a photography series called Flaws and All. It was black and white, and it was my first time exposing my truth through art publicly. And I remember shaking, trembling, like super nervous, sweating. I damn near cried. And at the end, it was received so well that someone actually wanted to purchase a large, like 24 by 36 print of one of the images. And like I said, it was entitled Flaws and All. So these were my flaws, the things that I considered flaws, and I wanted to make them art, right? But someone wanted to value it. They wanted a piece of it home. And I remember that sparking something. This was 2011. This was 2011 when this happened, and I remember that sparking like, whoa, like it's being received. It's not like a thing that has to be shunned, or they wanted my flaws, because and especially living in the world where you feel like you have to be perfect and you have to present yourself a certain way. Like this person wanted the real me, and I was like, So that prompted actually the very first Embryo, and I also knew that I wanted to do the first one in Philly. I didn't want to do it in Chicago. I wanted to do it in Philly, and it's been that way ever since. It was that following March in 2012 I presented the very first Embryo, and it wasn't even supposed to be Embryo, like a series. Like it wasn't supposed to see 9 years. I didn't even call it Embryo 1. It was just Embryo. It was just an opportunity for the Philadelphia scene to see my work, and I can get acquainted with the communities here in Philly. But the reception was so great. I was encouraged to keep doing it year after year. It's literally like the single motivating force behind why Embryo still keeps going. Not only did it save my life, but it's helping to do the same for other people.
How did you come up with the name Embryo? Because this was way before the Future is Female movement and everything. Like, that was way before all of that stuff. So I was always curious how that came to you.
So I had this idea when I first started promoting Embryo as an exhibition. I said I wanted to birth what's been forming in my creative womb, all these years. That I was so extra, but that's how I was promoting it back in 2012 for the very first installment. But yeah, that was pretty much the gist though. Like I felt like for years since childhood, I had been brewing this gift inside of me, and I'd been dealing with so many things secretly, and art helped me kind of be brave, stand flat-footed, and address them. So I figured, I wanted to share this. I wanted to finally birth this thing. Like, it wasn't birthing it, meaning like it wouldn't be easy. It wouldn't be an easy event. It would be this, this brave pursuit of like crossing this threshold that's been kind of holding you back for so longer. Actually, years later, someone discouraged the name Embryo because I think I was about to celebrate 4 or 5 years at the time. And they said, "Don't you think you want to change the name now at this point?" And I was like, I felt the pit of my belly drop, like, no, it's not ready to, I didn't feel ready to change it. I don't feel ready to change it now. Because it's a gentle reminder to come back to where it all started. We all started, the human experience all started as embryos, It's important for me to stay true to that and move at an honest pace from there, and who's supposed to receive that will, and who doesn't. Love and light to you on your journey. No, love and light to all of those who are just not on the same journey as me, and that's okay. I already foresee Embryo, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's here to stay.
I'm really interested about Art Buds. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That was you're the founder, the creator. That was your baby.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that concept?
Art Buzz. So I knew that I wanted to teach. I knew I wanted to pay forward the opportunities that I didn't necessarily have when I was young. Going back to Mrs. Powers and her just simply acknowledging.
It all comes back to Mrs. Powers.
Yes.
I've never connected that before, Art Buzz and Mrs. Powers, but that kind of makes sense.
I hope she's doing good.
Seriously, because she was super old when I was young. So like prayerfully, like 30 years later, 20 some odd years later, she's great. In good health. Seriously, I pray she's in good health because she was such a great teacher.
She's got some good karma no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if she's ascended, then her spirit is here. But yeah, so Art Buzz, I knew that I wanted to teach and I wanted to pay for what wasn't afforded to me growing up. So thankfully, Carl Morris, he is the owner of the Urban Art Gallery in West Philadelphia on 52nd Street, aka the Deuce. Shout out to them. He was looking for a youth program to get started there, and he was looking for art teachers. And I was like, oh, well, I'm looking for a space to teach. So I generated this logo. I remember being in my old apartment in the Temple University area, just sketching out Art Buds and designing the logo and creating the curriculum and the syllabus and the parent letter and the open house registration forms. And I just remember just going all in because I finally had an opportunity to teach, which was something that I really wanted to do. I did not go to school to teach, right? I didn't have the resources to pursue master's, bachelor's degrees. But I knew that I wanted to teach and I felt like I had something worth sharing. We are now, actually as of this month, we are 4 years old. Yeah. And we've been able to offer inner city youth ages 8 to 13, the opportunity to be exposed to the arts and cultivate the arts and keep art alive in the lives of our youth. It was actually prompted as a response to, additionally, it was prompted as a response to the inner city public school system pulling the arts and culture classes from their curriculums. At the time, that's what Philly was doing. Still, a lot of inner city public schools don't have arts and culture classes in their curriculum. They may have it as after school programs or something like that. The excuse is the budget. The budget isn't there to keep the classes alive. So, with this program, we simply want to keep art alive. We've been able to help hundreds of students throughout the city with this program, and prayerfully want to see it grow and evolve. And yeah.
What are some things that you've observed about youth today, working with youth, or, I don't know, do any moments stick out with kids where you're like, that was a teachable moment, or...
Yeah. Oh, I love the idea of learning with them. I had a sense of inadequacy because I didn't get the degrees, right? That I didn't have much to share, much to say to them.
We're right here with you.
But
We always talk about that.
But those teachable moments would be when I would see an evolution in just in 8 weeks' time. Our terms at the program is 8-week quarterly terms, and just seeing their evolution from, say, one student would be super timid, may even cry if we call on their name to respond to a question or present their work in front of the class. But by the end of the 8 weeks, they are vibrant, they're standing flat-footed, they're confident, they know what they're talking about, they know what they want to say through their work, through their artwork. And that's been just one of the very super beautiful and imperative moments that I've had with teaching. They make my world go round, and they make it worth it commuting from Coatesville to make it work.
How many kids per class do you use?
20. We maxed out at 20 because of the space. We want to make sure everyone's comfortable.
Right.
We actually are now offering for the first time this new year advanced classes with myself and Mr. Chuck Stiles, who's an incredible artist local to Philly. That class, the advanced classes are maxed out at 10 students. It's a more intimate setting, and for ages 9 to 16. But the 8 to 13 classes on Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., we are maxed out at 20 students, and we usually get a lot of students register, but we want to make sure that the commitment stays just to the 20 per term, per 8-week term.
Well, there's such a demand for it, and it's amazing that you actually are facilitating something.
Yeah.
Because like you said, there's just not that many opportunities out there for the youth to be able to do that.
I'm grateful, man. I really am to be in a position to be able to pay that forward and to offer that, that opportunity to our youth. It's so important.
I was wondering what role you think art plays in current today's world.
Art is everything. There's actually... I if you don't mind me taking a moment to pull up a quote, and this is the first thing that came to mind considering that question. It's a quote by Miss Carrie Mae Weems, who's an incredible artist who I love and adore. So the quote states, "There is nothing that's more important than art. It's the basis of our deepest humanity, and it's through that we articulate our deepest concerns, our deepest beliefs, and our most profound ideas about who we are." And that, again, is by Miss Carrie Mae Weems. And so to answer your question, I feel like art is everything. Art is a response. Art is, I call it my brave side. Art is saving grace for a lot of us. Art is the key that unlocks many doors. Art is healing. It unlocked healing for me personally. Can
we talk more about that?
Yeah.
Can we talk about, because you were saying that when you put out Embryo, that it's within the name, that it's not always the easiest thing. And it came from you feeling like you had these flaws, and then people were embracing you and loving you. So I just wanted to talk more about your journey of healing through art. How has it transformed, since then to now?
Yeah. for the sake of being present, I'll start from now and work backwards.
Yeah. I like that. For the sake of being present.
Yes.
Yeah, I think how it's transformed. I know now the importance to speak up and share what you're dealing with. I'll speak for myself personally. I was secretly burdened with all kinds of things. Self-inflicting pain, thinking that was my norm for a very long time. And art helped expose me to alternate realities. Because for so long, from 9 years old up until my 30s, well, let's say my late 20s, I thought I was this one person on the planet who had this specific issue. But then art helped afford me the opportunity to see that there was a common thread amongst many different groups, no matter your age, race, faith, walk. There's this common thread, that kind of glues the human experience together. And art helped do that for me. Art helped expose that reality for me. So how it's transformed, I went from thinking that it was woe is me, no, it's woe is all of us. And it also doesn't have to be woe. It could be how fascinating this is. How fascinating this particular challenge, with the understanding that you can get through it, that you can evolve and transcend from it. That's the space that I'm in right now.
It's beautiful.
9 years ago, I'd have been like, dang, man, I'm gonna get out of this joint. Like, I'm here forever, and just feeling like super weighed down.
It's heavy.
Yeah, but I've been in a very meditative space. The importance of something is very simple for real. Breathing has been the thing that's been helping me a lot lately. Simply taking a deep intentional breath before I decide to do anything. It affords clarity. I can go about anything with vigor, with like healthy vigor, not moving too hastily in the wrong direction. You can clearly see where you're going and how you're going to get there and why you're going, and keeping your intentions intact and pure. That's the transformative space that I'm in right now. But like I said before, that it was all about like thinking, even though my Embryo exhibitions are very introspective, they're all about me. It's a personal testimonial, but it's evolved from just being about me anymore, and incorporating the stories of the people who come and witness the exhibition. There's been many people who have experienced Embryo exhibitions and have shared with me, their own personal truths. Perfect strangers would come and share their whole story. And I just remember time and time again thinking, they trust me. I am trusted with their personal testimonies. A lot of people share with me very intimate things about themselves, but also go to say like, they're encouraged to speak up in their own way. Maybe it's through singing or writing or rapping or pottery, whatever the case. It's no longer just my story that I'm helping to uproot and heal from. It's all of our stories. And Embryo offers the opportunity for us to kind of be brave enough and feel safe enough to share those parts of ourselves, those intimate, vulnerable parts of ourselves.
Every year, I have to say, your event has like inspired and just moved me so much. And I think you said to me also, it always has a different vibe and a different energy, and that's 100% how I feel about it as a person that's watching it and observing it and participating. But I also was moved. I remember you had mental health screenings at an exhibition, and it was just brilliant. It's not the most, it's a simple idea in a way. It's like, yeah, let's do this. But you don't see that often.
That's the thing. I knew that, to your point about how it's transformed over the years, so I'm about to celebrate 9 years in March. The first 6 or 7 years, I carried Embryo on my back, out of pocket, no support. Not that I couldn't get it, I just didn't know how to tap into it. Transparently speaking, I didn't know how to tap into the resources that were available to me. But because of the work that I was diligent with, I was exposed to new partnerships and relationships. And so to your point about those screenings, the Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disability Services has been an ongoing partner of the Embryo exhibition series, now going on 3 years. It'll be their third consecutive year supporting Embryo this coming March 2020. And I'm super grateful for that. With their partnership and sponsorship comes those screenings. I knew that I wanted Embryo to not just be an exhibition where you come see the art and leave. I don't even want people to feel inclined to pay to experience the exhibition. That's me. That's a personal position. And my idea is like, okay, get the bodies in the door, get them exposed to these options, right? These resources. If they want to pay for anything, pay for the artwork and get that out into the world.
Yes.
Pay for the art. But then, also get something from it. Like, I desire it to be one of substance, something that'll stick, something worth talking about later. So these screenings, no one gets diagnosed, but they have an opportunity to learn where they stand mentally, and if they want to seek further help, there are resources there. Actually, I am working to, in addition to the screenings for the upcoming exhibitions, have a mental health first aid training sign-up sheet as well. I'm certified in mental health first aid training for youth, but it's available for both youth and adults. It's like a 1-day course. You just sit there and you learn and you do these exercises, and then
We've been talking about that.
Yeah.
We want to get certified. We've
Yes.
been talking about that.
Yeah.
It's just, we have first aid for physical health
Yes.
stuff, but we should know everything, the whole body.
It's so important. I think it's very informative, and it helps open your eyes to see certain circumstances in a different light. It really does. It offers a different perspective, which is refreshing and helps bring clarity to certain people who may just be ignorant to the idea of mental health issues of any kind. You know what I mean? I remember meeting this one middle-aged woman, I think, and I was driving school buses and she was one of my co-workers. And
I didn't know you did that.
I did. I was a janitor. I was a school bus driver.
You were really cool.
in 1
H&M
year
worker. I remember you had the coolest clothes.
I was
ever.
there for 5 years. No, this is actually more recently, like a year or so ago. I was a bus driver and a janitor just to try to help make ends meet. So the coworker, she was very interested in being, supporting and showing up for the exhibition, but she was like, yeah, I just think that's interesting because I've never had a mental health issue. Like I can't relate to feeling suicidal or feeling like I don't want to be here anymore, or feeling so depressed that I get, lose myself. And I just remember looking at her and thinking, wow, I don't know I can't relate to that.
Like? What is that like?
I can't relate to that. So for those people, it gives, the training gives them an opportunity to see with clearer eyes what it means to deal with that kind of lifestyle.
Along the lines of mental health, and you were mentioning earlier how just breathing, meditating, what are some other self-care tips that you use as an artist just as a person,
as a human,
trying to get through life?
So a lot of the things that I do as far as my lifestyle is concerned, movement is a big thing for me. I love to move. You can call it dancing, you can call it ritualistic movement, you can call it whatever you like, but I love to move my body, whether it be to music, to nature sounds, no music, just nothing at all. That has always been this transcendent opportunity for me to express myself and kind of leave this place for just a moment to kind of come back to who Shanina Dionna is.
She's an excellent dancer.
She
is.
Thank you. I just went dancing 2 nights ago. It was really nice. It was the first time I went dancing in 2020 in the new decade. So I sweated the night away. It was great. I was jumping up and down like nobody was watching. It was awesome. Aside from that, what I consume, I'm a vegan now. So that's another like self-care ritual that I afford myself.
How long have you been vegan for?
Yeah, so this month is a solid year for me. Wow. Yeah, it's a 19-year journey. Oh my gosh, I'm sharing my age. It's a 19-year journey. I started when I was 12, and I remember my body over time just started to respond negatively to animal byproducts. I remember living in Jacksonville, Florida. I grew up on chitlins and pork chops and pig feet, and because my mom is from the deep South, Jasper, Florida. And but I remember I had some beef ribs one day when I was 12 years old, and I got nauseous or sick or something. And I remember asking my mother, "Mom, what kind of meat is this?" And she said, "Beef." And I said, "Where's beef come from?" And she said, "Cows." I said, "I don't want to eat more cows." When I was 12. And so I did. I stopped eating. I stopped eating beef, steaks, all the red meats. And then over time, it was pork. My dad used to have a friend to come give us a big pot of pork and sauerkraut every holiday season. And then one day I learned how the pig operated and decided not to eat pork anymore. And that was nearly 10 years ago. And then chicken and turkey didn't last much longer after that.
Like this journey.
No, because turkey, I felt like I only ate it during the holiday season, and it was always dry, and I never really enjoyed it. So I was like, that's easy to go. But my dad's fried chicken was like hard for me to give up. But one day, no lie, I bit into a piece of fried chicken and I gagged, and I said, "No." And I went to my dad and I was like, "Dad, I can't eat your fried chicken anymore." He was like, "You better give me that damn chicken." I think he ate the rest of it.
Don't waste it.
So yeah, I love. And then so for 7 years after that, I was just pescatarian. I just ate all the seafood plus the vegetarian diet. So I was still eating cheese and eggs at the time. And then I decided to just kind of go for it because I knew I was working my way up to veganism. I just I didn't want to kind of thrust myself in, like I wanted to move at an honest pace. This year, January 2020, makes it 1 full year. I did not cheat and eat mac and cheese, because usually my family, they'll tell you if I'm with them, because a lot of times they're not vegan. I'm the only vegan. So during family functions, there's mac and cheese there. If I don't eat the mac and cheese, I'm not going to eat it at all. I'm usually eating the sides anyway.
So you have to cook your own stuff at home?
Yeah. We do this family potluck style every holiday season. We so that I can have something to eat. And they've actually this past holiday season, they've evolved. They've made a lot more vegetable dishes that I could enjoy outside of just my own.
That's sweet.
I'm so thankful for that, because I eat so good. I eat so big. But yeah, aside from that, and botanical therapies is another way that I take care of myself. I have a lot of plants. You'll see that communicated through the exhibitions coming up.
You name your plants, correct? Or no?
I do.
Yeah.
I am a plant mom. So yes, my eldest daughter, her name is Harmony. I've had her now for, going on 4 years. Wow. I need to repot her, actually. And she was gifted to me for Embryo 5 or 6, and I just kept her. And then I bought my first plant. Her name is Moon. I have this thing with the moon. So her moon, and she's a peace lily. So Moon Peace is her name, and I bought her last March around my birthday, as a gift to myself. I'll share this with you first. It's not public knowledge yet, but I have this new beautiful relationship with Vault and Vine of East Falls.
I love Vault and Vine.
Yeah, they're gonna sponsor Embryo for their first time with a plant donation. They're gonna provide 10 large house plants and one over 7-foot tree. So I'm really excited to have them on board and contribute to the botanical therapy part of the Embryo exhibition.
That's exciting.
I'm really
Are you
going to
bring Harmony and Moonpiece?
No, Harmony and Moonpiece are stationary. I've noticed that. No, because I've moved our houseplants before, and they just did not make it. It was a lot on them to move around. So
you're such a good mom.
They stay home. Yeah, I take care. They stay home.
So I think that's a good segue into this year's Embryo exhibition, and when is it gonna be? How do we hear about it? How do we sign up?
So Embryo, to experience Embryo, you'll see it's literally an extension of my safe space. So I live in Coatesville, Pennsylvania, and my studio is also my bedroom. Hey, shout out to Seville, Red Raiders. So I create out of my bedroom studio. It's been that way for the last nearly 10 years now. It's a very small studio, but a lot takes place there. Embryo is birthed, from there. So my safe space looks a lot like plants, house plants, string lights, throw rugs, throw pillows, throw blankets, artwork everywhere, art supplies everywhere. I also collect glass bottles and cans. I've been doing that for nearly a decade as well. I don't know what it is.
Glass bottles. What's your favorite color?
Oh, green and clear, like the green and clear ones.
Teal is like my favorite color.
Yeah, I drink a lot of Perrier.
Yeah. Yes.
Sparkling water is my thing. It's my jam. With some lemon, I'm good to go. But yeah, so you'll see a lot of that happening at the Embryo exhibition. So it's literally an extension of my safe haven. And in addition to that, I curate this performance segment where there's improv happening, there's musical performances, and all of them are in alignment with the purpose and intent of the exhibition, which is to help raise awareness to mental health and wellness through the arts. So you'll see me dancing, usually with 2 other women, because 3 is my favorite number. So if there's 3 of us up there, that's very intentional. Everything is intentional with this exhibit. You'll see the likes of Alexandra March doing her thing with her acoustic set and just tearing the house down with her beautiful and impactful voice. You'll see improv, meaning like there's one piece that I'm actually, and I'll just share this with you first, that I'm working on. So I'm going to be moving to my internal thoughts at this upcoming exhibition. So the thoughts that I have racing through my mind, it's going to reach a climax and it's going to come back down and it's going to have the moral of a story, but I'm going to move to that through an improv piece. And I'm really looking forward to see how that comes out. It'll be my first time doing it at an Embryo exhibition. So I'm really looking forward to that. You'll see the screenings, but from the Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disability Services. You'll hear curated playlists. You'll see vegan food because, again, it's an extension of me. So tasty treats, tasty options for those of, because my friends and family aren't vegan. So I had to make sure I get things that taste good or else they'd be like, girl, this tastes like cardboard. But everything is very intentional. It's exposing one millennial woman's journey through wellness, through the arts. And I can only speak from my position as a Black millennial woman living in 21st century America, but what it does to help inform everyone else, no matter their race, gender, or walk of life. That's the purpose and intent. Raise awareness, expose my truth so that it might encourage you to do the same. That's what you can expect from Embryo. I hope I'm not missing anything. There's so much going on in my mind right now, but
we're so lucky as a community for you to share so generously your spirit with us in such a way. And it's like throwing an art party. Like, here I am, everybody. Take it all in.
I'm
it's
just grateful.
Generous.
I'm truly grateful that it's still being received after so many years of doing it. But, just as I do naturally in real life, as I evolve, the exhibition evolves as well. I got to a point where I was like, am I going to have anything more to say after a while? But I'm like, as it grows up with me and as I evolve, I'm always going to have something to share and to say. So I call it sometimes my annual art testimonial, like sharing lessons learned prior to the next exhibition. Going back to your question about how it's transformed, like now I have to be mindful of contracts. I have to be mindful of so
you're the real deal.
Like with vetted institutions. So,
which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that. But it's transformed in that way. Usually I would be like, yeah, it's happening here, and I'll be able to. Right. I can't drop it all right now. Yeah. March 7th, though. March 7th, 2020. Save the date. It will be in Philadelphia. Both of them will be in Philly. April 5th 2020 as well.
Yeah, and your social media stuff, where do we find you?
Yes, so Shanina Dionna everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, LinkedIn, I'm everywhere. SHANINAD as in dog, IONNA, everywhere. My new website, check that out, www.shaninadionna.com. You can stay updated for special offers on artworks, new artworks, prints, original paintings. You can purchase them through the website. I have a space where you could book a class, a paint party with me. You can book an art class with me. So yeah, check out. There's a lot of fun things on there. Check it out, and I'll be updating it soon with the official details for for the upcoming.
The exciting details. So exciting, we can't even say that.
I can't even say it right now. I'm so sorry. I want to be able to share.
We'll put it on the website when it's ready.
Okay. Yeah, I want to honor. For my peace of mind, I want to honor and uphold the integrity as far as these relationships that I'm building.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming all the way out here and spending this time. We're lucky to have you as our first guest.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so proud of you guys. Congratulations for your art, right? Follow your art. Follow your art. Yeah. Congratulations. Follow your art. Yeah.
We want to it's like my art will go on, and I thought maybe we would have Celine Dion as a guest. So I was pushing for that.
My mind saw it though. It was like, yeah, Celine Dion. What? Celine Dion. Oh wait, this is a joke. Like wait.
You never know.
You never know. Listen, come to South Philly.
We're talking to the
Celine
world
Dion.
right now.
Yes. Absolutely. She can make a trip to South Philly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but thank you so much for having me. I'm very, very proud to be the first guest. Aww. I'm so proud of you guys, Nicole and Alex.
Thank you.
And
it's an honor to have you on. Seriously.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
We like to end our podcasts with a little mantra. All right, so we'll all take a nice deep breath. May I love myself.
May I love others.
May I have joy for myself.
May I have joy for others.
May I inspire myself.
May I inspire others.
May I live to love.
May I love to live.
May I live to create.
May I create to live.
I feel like we need to say amen after that. Thank you guys for also listening. We appreciate it.
Yes,
we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
You can be part of the Follow Your Art fam by subscribing to the podcast and following us on social media. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/followyourartpodcast, and our Instagram is instagram.com/followyourart_podcast.
We'd like this podcast to be a community experience. If you have any questions or topics you'd like to explore, or if you'd like to submit your art to be featured on all our social media platforms, feel free to email us at followyourartpodcast@gmail.com. A quick thank you to Benyo Barshai for providing the intro and the outro music, our studio helpers. You've been listening to Follow Your Art.